You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and one consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Safety Wars. Before we start the program, I want to make sure everyone understands that we often talk about OSHA and EPA citations, along with some other regulatory actions from other agencies, legal cases, and criminal activity. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Proposed fines are exactly that, and they are often litigated, reduced, or vacated. We use available public records, news accounts, and press releases. We cannot warranty or guarantee the details of any of the stories we share, since we are not directly involved with these stories, at least not most of the time. Enjoy the show.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
And from the border of liberty and prosperity and the highway to the north, this is Safety Wars for Tuesday, August 13, 2024. How's everybody doing out there? Had to come on the air a little bit early. We have something that came up today, and we are going to some obligations. So we're going on a little bit earlier. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter program. We're going to talk about EPA and OSHA news today. Get back to safety. We won't be talking about the Olympics so much, but sorry, there was stuff to be learned out there, right? I'm sorry, not sorry. Stuff to be learned about safety, human organizational performance, and everything else. We've been working recently on some of the commercials and everything for Safety Wars, and you'll be hearing some of them tonight. So it is Tuesday. We're going to start with our Tuesday hop message here. Hopefully this comes out. I'm using the new platform. Slowly but surely, I'm getting better at it. But, you know, it is what it is. So here we go.
This is Safety Wars, broadcasting to our brothers and sisters in the occupied territory of behavior-based safety. Get out your secret decoder ring. Here is your nightly message. Blame. Fixes. Nothing. Blame. Fixes. Nothing.
Right, and that's blame fixes nothing on there. You never know how it's going to come out on the air until you actually do it. Remember that, blame fixes nothing. And be careful when you tell that to your children, right? Especially if they're small, because they will throw that right back in your face. Who did X, Y, and Z? Well, Daddy, blame fixes nothing. All right, and this is a lifestyle here. As I was talking to Todd Conklin, and he said, no, this integrates into everything that we do. Now, this on all levels. So remember that. Anyway, OSHA news. I really don't get sometimes. Oh, wrong. No, I really don't get sometimes a lot of these companies that we have to deal with here in the safety world. Really don't. Here we have a company. Let's see. Okay. So here we have federal court orders staffing companies to stop employing children illegally. Now, this comes up regularly, especially if you're working in construction sites. Well, can my child work at a construction site? Or, hey, I'm working with my uncle on a construction site. I used to do that years ago, where, not with my uncle, but some of the other places where I worked, I was under 18 working at construction sites. Did you know in most jurisdictions it's illegal in the United States to work on a construction site doing construction work as a minor? Yeah, really. It's just one of those things, but it's often where a lot of people in construction start off is on that. And I tell you what, especially with the, regardless of what your opinion is on the current immigration debate, the fact is that a lot of the folks that are coming into the country illegally, right, migrant workers, things of that nature, a lot of them are under 18. A lot of them don't have the right ID. This is what some of my clients are faced with, where you have workers coming in. It doesn't matter what country they're from, where they are, they do not have proper ID, and they don't know how old they are, for sure. And if you're involved in competitive baseball, tribal league baseball, believe me, it happens. Like, you look at these kids. Kids are like 6'5". Oh, yeah, he's 11 years old. Right? So this year they ended up at every tournament we went to, they had a third-party auditing company where you had to sign up to verify ages, right? And you needed a birth certificate or something like that official to prove that the person is who they say they are, and that they are the correct age, and also and everything else that goes along with it. Okay, I have to do something here. Yes. Well, one of our listeners said, Jim, are you going to be there tonight? Yes, I will be there tonight. I am on the air. This is a shortened program. Okay, so this is in Greenville, Tennessee. The U.S. Department of Labor has obtained a consent judgment in a Tennessee federal court that requires a Kingsford staffing agency to stop employing children illegally and forbids them from future violations. Well, guess what? No, this is what I always laugh about here. Forbids them from future violations. Like, it was okay to do the current violations, right? Federal child labor laws. Hold on. All right. The action comes after federal investigators uncovered oppressive child labor at a Morristown manufacturing facility that produces outdoor power equipment for major companies including John Deere, Toro, and Yamaha. This is another thing. If you have subcontractors, are they doing the right thing? Entered on August 12th, that's yesterday, the U.S. District Court of the Eastern District of Tennessee. The court's action comes after the Department of Wage and Hour Division discovered several children employed in dangerous jobs at a plant operated by a certain company. I don't mention company names here, right? If I do, it's inadvertent. The division found that Professional Personal Service Inc., operated as another company, employed several children to work at a workplace in violation of Child Labor Provisions and the Fair Safety Labors Act. So how much is this going to cost them? $121,000 plus with that. And again, this is, believe it or not, in fiscal year 2023, the department investigated 955 cases with child labor violations involving almost 6,000 children nationwide, an 88% increase in 2019, including 502 children employed in violation of hazardous occupation standards. The department addressed these violations by addressing employers more than $8 million. You think it's only going on 955 times? I don't think so. Here we have from yesterday. I don't know if we covered this or not. I don't recall, but we're going to recover it today. A federal workplace safety investigation has found that a Metro Chicago carpentry contractor with a long history of exposing employees to potentially deadly hazards again ignored regulations to protect workers from falls. This is the seventh time since 2013 that the company did not provide safety equipment and training to employees building a new home in Frankfort. Hopefully it's not the same home. The company currently owes more than $114,000 in unpaid penalties for similar willful and serious violations. In March 2024, the March 2024 inspection at the company determined that the company allowed employees to work at heights greater than 6 feet without fall protection and failed to provide training in fall protection and proper forklift operation. OSHA also noted workers for failure to wear hard hats and use ladders properly, and they were whacked with 2 repeat violations and 1 willful, 1 serious, and 1 other than serious violation. The agency has proposed $268,000 in penalties, right? So we have the accident, the citation here. Citation 1, item 1, serious. No hard hats, basically. 1926-100, that was $12,676. How much does a hard hat cost? A hell of a lot less than $12,676. Citation 2, item 1, type of violation, willful serious. This is going to be a big one. 6-foot fall protection violation. Right, so 6 foot or higher, you have to have a guardrail, safety net systems, or something else. And they found this at a couple of different addresses at a couple of different times. $161,323. That's the maximum penalty here. It's a lot of money, guys. Citation and notification. Citation 3, item 1, type of violation, repeat serious. The employer did not provide a training program on fall protection. $63,382. Citation 3, item 2, repeat serious was $30,000. The top or top step of a step ladder was used as a step. Really? Oh, the $30,000 for $22. How much does a step ladder cost? A hell of a lot less than $30,000 for $22. And here we have a citation 4, item 1, type of violation, repeat other. The employer did not certify that each operator has been trained and evaluated with that. Again, no written certification on regarding the operation of a Class 7 forklift. $506 for a grand total of proposed penalties of $268,309. Ay. Really? Okay. And we talked about that one yesterday. And we had, this is a local story here for us. This is out of the Albany area office over in Orange County. Now, if you're familiar with the area that I live in, you have the Albany area office covers a huge geographic area. And Orange County, because you have proximity to a Stewart Airport, which is a Air Force base, and also a regular airport. Then you have cargo coming in there. You have train lines coming in there. You have the New York Thruway, and you have, I believe it's Route 84 coming through there. In this, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of warehouses. We've been involved in several warehouse builds over there. And, there's historically been a lot of work, but there's tons of warehouses. So that's one of the things that OSHA has a focus on now is warehouses here. After receiving citations requiring to correct existing fall hazards at its Chester warehouse and paying $17,000 in penalties, the company, maker of one of the world's best-selling sneakers, now faces an additional almost $400,000 in proposed penalties for continuing to ignore DOL workplace safety standards. Again, they were cited in 2022 and 2021. Let's see if they're going to go, right? If they're going to go and this may sound cynical, but it's been my experience, and I try to deal with experience and truth here on this program, because you're not going to find that in a lot of places here. My experience and my truth is that if they're there one time, they're probably going to be there again to verify abatement. And a lot of times if you pay, they'll be back there. In my opinion, there's no official policy, but here you go. Willful serious. This is $138,273 here. The employer did not ensure that portable ladders used to gain access to an upper landing surface have side rails that extend at least 3 feet above the upper landing surface. I don't know what to tell you with that. Let's see what the other ones are. Do they list them? That's one citation. Failure to abate notice. We don't normally see failure to abate notices here unless you really, in the words of, I believe his name is Charles Russell, he's a labor law attorney, you really got to piss somebody off. All right? Here you go. This is a walking and working citation. Hold on, they started citation 1, number 2 here. Okay. Citation 1, item 2, for type of violation, failure to abate. Except as provided elsewhere in this section, the employer did not ensure that the employee on a walking working surface when an unprotected side or edge that's 4 feet or more above a lower level is protected from falling by one or more of the systems described 1910.28. So this is a walking and working surfaces. They got him for $258,104 even on this one. Wow. So, at the facility backroom mezzanine area, on or about January 31st, 2024, the mezzanine area was not equipped with standard guardrails or equivalent on exposed side, exposing employees to fall hazard of approximately 10 feet. Ay caramba. This seemed like an easy one to fix sometimes. I mean, it's they found them with the same problem in March 2022 and in 2021 for the same thing. Ay. And that's what we got here. Let's move on over to the EPA. EPA cites Denver building owner for not following the lead safe renovation requirements. I have not been covering a lot of the EPA stuff because I'm afraid of getting into a situation of a lot of these things, I'm sorry, are political. All right, here. So a lot of this stuff I'm not going to talk about. The OSHA stuff, normally not political. But with the EPA stuff, I don't want to get into a situation where I have an in-kind donation to them, for them. Even though all I'm doing is reading off EPA press releases and commenting on them, there is a presidential race, and I don't want to be getting into any trouble or get the network into any trouble here. However, as we get closer to the election, we are going to be doing something outside Safety FM, talking about the election, because I don't want to get anybody into trouble here. Right? Today, the U.S. EPA announced a settlement with a Denver area property owner and its associated companies resolving alleged violations of EPA lead-based paint renovation, repair, and painting rule. The company has agreed to pay a $125,000 penalty to settle allegations that the firm conducted uncertified renovations at 6 multi-unit rental housing properties in and around Denver, Colorado. Several of the properties are in locations considered environmental justice areas. That's areas with at-risk communities, underserved communities, usually African American, Latino, or other type of communities like that, inner city things. And I tell you what happens is, it seems to me that a lot of these communities, whether it's dealing with this situation, with renovation, or if it's dealing with water issues, these are the communities that seem to be impacted the worst. Just the way it is. It is an environmental justice sort of thing here, and it's disgusting, in my opinion. And what are we here? That's why we here, and what I try to do is, I do outreach to underserved communities through when I teach at New Jersey City University there in northern New Jersey. This was my job here, doing this stuff. So the RRP rule, this is renovation, repair, and painting rule, protects the public from toxic lead hazards created by renovation activities involving lead-based paint and requires the certification of individuals and firms who are involved in these activities. Under the rule, contractors working on homes built prior to 1978 must test for lead in paint or presume lead is present and apply lead-safe work practices to minimize the risk of toxic lead exposure. We've talked about that at length here with lead exposure. So what does the company fail to do allegedly? Obtain initial firm certification from the EPA prior to performing renovations on target housing, assign a certified renovator to each renovation, retain all documentation necessary to demonstrate compliance with lead-safe work practices for renovations, and obtain written acknowledgement of the receipt of the required renovate right pamphlet prior to renovations informing residents of lead-based paint hazards. So EPA has had a history of dealing with lead issues in the environment. EPA New England celebrates a major milestone at Somersworth Superfund site. Groundbreaking for the construction of a solar farm on reclaimed land is the first of its kind in New Hampshire. This is out of Somersworth, New Hampshire. Today, the U.S. EPA, this is yesterday, joined Congressman Chris Pappas and the city of Somersworth to celebrate the groundbreaking for construction of a new solar array. Pardon me, I hiccups. That's what's going on here. What did the site have? Okay, I guess that's good. City of Somersworth owns the landfill property and much of the wetland areas northwest of the landfill. Reuse at the site after landfill closure began in 1978 when the city redeveloped approximately 10 acres in the eastern portion of the landfill into a recreation area, which included ball fields and basketball courts. Use of these recreation facilities was discontinued in 2011, except for a paved area. I don't know if that had to do with contamination here, but that's not an unusual thing because a lot of these landfills, right, they're publicly owned and they redevelop them. In my hometown of Woodbridge, they did that. They redeveloped the area and re-augmented the landfill and put in erosion control and things of that nature and vapor extraction. That's right there on Main Street in Woodbridge, headed towards Ford's. And and there were Middlesex County College, a lot of that same deal. That was from the old Raritan Arsenal, where they just landfilled stuff. I remember stuff blowing up. And the other one was in Morgan, New Jersey, part of Saraville, New Jersey, and I forget the name of the beach right next door to it. Cliffwood Beach, I believe it is. Cliffwood Beach. Right on the other side of the Morgan Inlet, there was a company that told the local municipality, do you want to dump this? It's all full of lead back in the 70s. And they dumped it here and made a lights jetty and everything out of it. And then necessitated. And then, wouldn't you know it, when all of the dredging in the Arthur Kill, right, to dredge the Arthur Kill River to make it good for deep draft vessels, when all of that equipment was available after the dredging, then all of a sudden they discovered all this contamination that they were told about back in the early 1970s. Only took them almost 50 years. My problem is this. Again, sovereign immunity strikes again. Right? With all of this stuff. It was a private company that did this. They'd be treated totally different than a public entity. And I think that's where my problem is here with this. Right? EPA seeks input on microbial and disinfection byproducts, NPDWR's rulemaking revisions. We're going to find out what that is. I forget. Today, and this is from last week, U.S. EPA invites small public water systems to participate as small entity representatives, providing advice and recommendations to a small business advocacy review panel, building on past extensive EPA engagement with stakeholders. The SBAR panel will focus on the agency's development of potential revisions to one or more of the current microbial disinfection products, MDBP, National Primary Drinking Water Regulations, that's what it is, NPDWRs, including Stage 1 and Stage 2 disinfectants. Now, on disinfection byproducts. So, basically, we treat water, right? We treat water for all different types of biologicals. Cryptosporidium, Giardia lamblia, Legionella, and other viruses, right, with that. So when you start adding disinfectants and things in there, you're going to get some byproducts. Now, always a debate, chlorinated water, non-chlorinated water, chlorinated water or non-chlorinated water. If you look at the public health data available, one of the greatest, and it ranks right up there with creation of fire, learning how to make fire, in my opinion, the wheel, and all these other stuff. One of them is chlorinated water because it increased the life expectancy in this country in one generation. So chlorinated water, but the thing is, right, cost benefit. You can't always do one thing, and then there's always a cost and there's a benefit. The benefits outweigh the cost. You try to do it with that. Now, this I have to go off of because these are off of non-government websites, so I need to go back to non-share screen. So, got to go back to the there I am. Hi. All right, back to the regular stuff because I don't want to get whacked with a copyright violation here. OSHA proposes major set of health and safety rule improvements for employer-provided housing. This is from Oregon OSHA. OSHA and it's from KTVZ.com. Oregon OSHA announced Monday is proposing significant improvements to its safety and health rules for housing that employers provide to workers, most often in agricultural settings. The proposed rule changes are part of a comprehensive package of a program of enhancements aimed at protecting ag workers and their families. Here. Here's their full news release, right? The division's agricultural labor housing rule, which will undergo an open-ended, transparent public hearing and comment process before it is adopted, involves numerous improvements. The rule proposal is part of a comprehensive set of reforms on how the division addresses the agricultural labor housing. So we see this, believe it or not, on the southern tier of New York. And last week we were up in by the we're getting sunlight coming here. Wow. We normally don't have that here. So we spent it in upstate New York, up in the Finger Lakes region over by Cooperstown. You see a lot of this temporary housing out there for agricultural workers here because they're migrant workers. Some of it's better than others. Our comprehensive approach, there's a rule proposal. And they don't mention what the rule changes are, but check it out on their website. Hold on. Let's see here. a lot of stuff on here. So anyway, that's one thing. Now, lawmakers pushed back against OSHA on proposed changes. This is from RochesterFirst.com. There's a growing call from state lawmakers in support of local volunteer firefighters over proposed regulations which could threaten the closure of those departments across New York State. Back in February, OSHA introduced a new safety standard which proposed 22 additional rules for all fire departments from mandatory upgrades to increased training requirements. As volunteer departments continue the uphill battle in recruitment efforts, lawmakers said it poses a serious threat. Congresswoman Claudia Tenney was joined by fellow lawmakers and a local fire personnel Monday to share more on the call. The rule will make it so difficult for our volunteers to meet the demands of this one-size-fits-all rule that will likely lose 1,700 volunteer fire departments across New York State. What is the rule? From replacing equipment to overhauling facilities, fire officials say it's a looming burden in a already challenging recruitment environment. So they're doing this here. There's going to be meetings, check it out. And they refer you over to OSHA's website, which it's like a dead link. Now, this is what the issue is we have, I get calls from fire departments all the time, or firefighters, volunteer and professional firefighters, that a lot of the local governments, because it is a government job, right? A lot of the states, they're exempt. They feel that the firefighters are exempt from OSHA regulations. Murky legal water there, and only an attorney could really answer that kind of stuff on what applies and what not. But here we have a thing where we're possibly putting firefighters' lives at risk, more than what they already are, right, with this. And, versus, so here we go. They implement the rule. They allege that 1,700 firefighting departments are going to, lost the train of thought here. So they implement the rule, right? They're going to lose 1,700 versus, right? So that's your cost and benefit in there, right? Implement the rule. You got benefits, safer firefighters. But then you're going to lose 1,700 firefighting locations. Now you're going to have more, less coverage for your community, less capacity. Something that we have to do here is, my opinion, they need better protection for firefighters. I don't know if this rule is going to, and all of the changes they're proposing are going to do that. However, there's no doubt about it that firefighters, especially a lot of the volunteer departments, are second-class firefighters with that. In a lot of communities with older equipment and lack of training and a whole bunch of other stuff. And there's no incentive in a lot of communities for firefighters to become firefighters. I hear it all the time from, I'm not saying that they're not doing their job. I'm not saying that they're evil people. I'm not saying anything. But I tell you what, people are not volunteering like they used to in a lot of these communities. And culturally, people don't want to be firefighters for whatever reason. I think that's stupid, to be honest. Well, yeah, I said it. It's stupid. We need volunteer firefighters, EMTs, police officers. Why are we treating them like WUVNO? I don't know. One of those things. And here we go. Another article here. Same area. Okay, what is... Right, here we go. Mandatory facility upgrades and increased training requirements could cause a heavy financial burden. We're very concerned. This is one firefighter. I'm not going to out his name here. This is a quote. We're very concerned that OSHA rules and regulations make it extremely difficult for us not only to keep the members that we have, but also to continually attract new members. Oh, so I guess we're going to put it in there that we made our workplace less safe, so therefore, that's going to attract people. I don't know. Stupid. here. Someone's got to make a decision here. There's got to be some leadership on here. I don't know. Here we go. Right. That's from WHAM, right? WHAM. Anyway, that's what I have tonight here. We're going to call it a night, call it a program. I know it's a shortened program. We're going to cut through one more commercial. Then as we're going into our outro here, right? You have an intro and you also have an outro.
In an unpredictable world, one voice rises above the chaos. Meet Jim Polzo, a seasoned safety expert who's navigated through some of the most dangerous scenarios, from anthrax, explosive cleanups, disasters, and numerous environmental cleanups, and lived to tell the tale. Now he's bringing his wealth of knowledge, insights, and experiences to you through Safety Wars. From workplace hazards to the hidden dangers in your own home, Jim covers it all with his engaging storytelling. Safety Wars isn't just a podcast, it's your guide to a safer world. Join Jim Polzo and become part of the Safety Wars revolution. Available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts and videos. Safety Wars. Your safety is our mission.
Opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and one consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.